Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Let's Play Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Today I'm going to be supporting my Maurer Söhne roller coaster and putting the footers and transfer track in. So, um, right here I think I was trying to kind of figure out the station and how I was going to build that, and then I decided that I would just do that later. So I could just get right into the support work, because the support work takes quite a while, and I figured I would wait to do the station for another video. And right now I'm using Moby Steel Jungle. There's Moby Steel Jungle V1 and V2, and V1 is a thinner version, and then there V2, it's got thicker pieces, and I kind of like to mix those up because I feel like it kind of gives your support work a little bit more realism if you do that. Like for example, if you have a really tall ride, I like to mix in the thicker vertical pieces sometimes, instead of using the thin vertical pieces. Here I'm using the thin ones because it's kind of a really intricate structure, so I figured they don't really need to be thicker. And then here in the middle where I'm putting the chain return, I'm using CSF's steel I-beam set. And here I'm just using Moby Steel Jungle V1 again. Moby Steel Jungle, it comes with a lot of nice features. It has caps for like the corners where the pieces don't quite make a round corner, so you can use caps to fix that, and that comes with flanges. And you want to use flanges on a lot of your supports, because supports aren't just like one long thing. They have to be bolted together and put together, so it makes your stuff look a lot more realistic if you use flanges. Here I'm using France Coaster's catwalk set. This catwalk set comes with different kinds of catwalks for like flying and inverted and dive coasters, so it's a pretty good set. Right now I'm using Techno Dude's Coaster Essentials brakes set, and it's a really nice set. It's got very realistic brakes, a good variety of them. The only thing I don't like about the set is the smaller brakes, like for the Maurer Söhne coasters and mini coasters and things like that. The brakes do not cover up the in-game brakes, so the in-game brakes will just kind of phase through the CSO, custom scenery, and that's just kind of a huge pet peeve of mine, so I don't always use the realistic brake that would go with a ride, because sometimes it just doesn't work. I think if he had made the smaller brakes, like for the Maurer Söhne coasters, a little bit bigger, and then made like a track brake cover to put over the in-game brakes, I think that would have worked a lot better, but that's just kind of my opinion. Here I'm using CSF's Steel I-beam set and Moby Steel Jungle to make the transfer track, and I'm using France Coaster's catwalks again. And I kind of had to try to line them up with the catwalk that came with the CT expansion. For some reason they added a catwalk to that, and I don't personally really like it. It's kind of very two-dimensional. It's not very detailed. But I'm kind of running out of things to say now, so I'm just gonna play this music and let you guys just watch the time lapse. That concludes this episode of Let's Play Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.